let's move on to the next important topic in counting techniques, which is permutations and combinations. अगर आपके पास एक इवेंट है जिसके आउटकम्स जो हैं किसी ऐसे सेट को कंप्राइज करते हैं जिसमें यू हैव more than one element. So instead of having outcomes जहाँ पे you have just one element, you have more than one element. So either a pair or say a set with 3 elements or say a set with 4 elements. अगर कुछ इस तरीके से आपके पास outcomes हैं, then how do you count them? Using the product rule. Now permutation and combinations are used in situations when you want to take a subset from a given group. So say you have a group of n distinct elements and you want to take a subset from these distinct elements of say size k. Permutation and combinations को हम किन situations में use करते हैं? जब आपके पास कुछ elements हैं जो आपस में distinct हैं and you want to select a group of some specific size from these n distinct elements. Say I have a group of 40 students in my class and I want to select 10 students out of these 40 students जिनको मैं एक special assignment allocate करने वाली हूँ. In how many ways can I select 10 students from a group of 40 different students? This is the kind of situation where I will be using permutation and combination. ठीक है? So broadly permutation combination जब भी हम कोई एक subset बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं from a larger group, then we use permutations and combinations. In which situation do we use permutation and in which situation do we use combination is also very important to be understood. 40 में से मैं कौन से 10 students select करूंगी? This could be broadly divided into 2 ways. एक हो सकता है that I want to select a group of 10 students. Say I want to send them to a competition, to some interstate competition, some kind of competition, and I want to select 10 students from a group of 40. Order doesn't matter, right? From this group of 40 students, who exactly I am selecting in which order doesn't matter, because ultimately I am interested in the group of 10 students as a whole. Because ultimately मुझे इन 10 बच्चों को आगे भेजना है, तो मैं पहले किसको select कर रही हूँ doesn't matter. But suppose I want to make a team of 10 students where I want to allocate some positions to these 10 students. So the first position, let's say, is of class representative. The second position, let's say, is of department representative. Let's say we want to select a president for the club or the vice president, so on and so forth. So you have like 10 different positions for which I want to select 10 students. Now, whether I am selecting student A first, student B second is now important. Why? Because अगर मैं representative के लिए student A को select कर रही हूँ, या और student B को दूसरी position के लिए select कर रही हूँ, this will be different from the case when I am selecting student B for the first position and student A for the second position. The order will be important in this particular case. जहाँ पे I am interested in knowing कि representative के लिए कौन सा बच्चा select हुआ है, president के लिए कौन सा बच्चा select हुआ है, vice president के लिए कौन सा बच्चा select हुआ है. ठीक है? So whenever I am interested in making an ordered subset, it is a subset. For both of these cases, हम एक subset बना रहे हैं out of a group of 40 students. दोनों केस में subset बना रहे हैं, लेकिन जो पहले वाला केस है, that is an ordered subset, whereas the second case is an unordered subset. In the second case, the order doesn't matter. Whether I'm selecting A first, B first, C first, doesn't matter, because ultimately I'm interested in the group of 10 people. मेरे को order matter नहीं करता है. So the second case is an unordered subset and the first case is an ordered subset. In how many ways can you form an ordered subset from a group of 40 people? We use permutations. हम permutation का concept use करते हैं जब हमें ordered subset निकालना होता है, और combination का concept use करते हैं when we want to take an unordered subset. Now, how do you represent permutation? Permutation could be represented in this form: P, K, N, where K represents the size of the subset. जो आप एक छोटा group बना रहे हो उसका size है K, और N represent करता है जिस large group में से आप subset बना रहे हो उसका size. Combination को आप represent कर सकते हो C, K, N, अगेन P तो permutation represent कर रहा है, C माने combination, and K and N represent the same thing. K refers to the size of the subgroup and N refers to the size of the larger group. Combination को आप बहुत बारी इस फॉर्म में भी देखोगे. So you have these brackets and ऊपर पूरा group size and K नीचे आप देखोगे सब ग्रुप का साइज. तो इस फॉर्मेट में भी आपको कॉम्बिनेशन represent होता दिखेगा. These are the notations that should be kept in mind. Now let's look at the formula of permutation first, and then we'll move to combination. Now, as I said, that permutation is a way in which you are selecting an ordered subset. Say I have a group of 7 students, okay? And out of these 7 students, I want to select 3 students for 3 positions. So say president, vice president, and secretary. I have 3 positions and I want to select 3 students from a group of 7 students. Okay. Now obviously order matters, whether I am selecting student A for the first position or student B for the position C, D. I have 7 students और इनमें से मैं जो भी बच्चा first position के लिए choose करूंगी उसका order important है, because it will give me different outcomes in this specific situation. So let's look at the kind of outcome you will have. You will have an outcome with 3 elements. So you can call this as a 3 tuple. The outcomes are looking like a 3 tuple or triplets, you can say. Now, in how many ways can you select these triplets? The first position could be filled by 7 students. पहली जो position है, which is the position of the president, could be filled by 7 students. 7 possible options है मेरे पास. Once I have chosen 1 student for the president position, then I have remaining 6 students for the second position. So for each of these 7 ways, I have 6 possible ways in which I can select the second position, which is the position of the vice president. So you have 7 options as the first stage for the first stage. Then for each of these first stages, you have 6 options. Because एक बच्चा आप already choose कर चुके हो, so you might have chosen A, and then you are left with the rest of the 6 students, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Once you have chosen B as the first generation branch, then you are left with A, C, D, E, F, and G. So you will have different students. The thing that will remain constant is that for each of these 7 students, you have 6 possible students जिनको आप second position offer कर सकते हो. Now, once these 2 positions are filled, you are left with 5 possible ways in which you can select the third student, the third position. So basically, number of possible ways in which you can select this triplet will be 7 into 6 into 5. This is what is called as permutation. And permutation is actually the same concept as that of ordered product rule. जो हमने अभी पढ़ा था product rule for general case, जो हमने generalized case पढ़ा था product rule का, permutation is nothing but that case, exactly the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. Yeah, so 7 into 6 into 5 is what will give you the answer to this question, in which you can select 3 possible students from a group of 7 students where the order of the students matter. Now, for simplification, you can write this entire product into a form जो कि एक general आपको formula देगा permutation का. So I can write it as 7 factorial by 4 factorial. Now, what is factorial? Whenever I am writing 7 factorial, it means I'm interested in the product of 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. हम basically अगर किसी भी number का factorial लेते हैं तो उसका मतलब है कि आप descending order में सारे integers को लिखोगे till 1, till you reach 1. So 7 factorial would be the product of 7 till number 1. 4 factorial would be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So descending order में आप integers को लिखते जाओगे, positive integers को, till you reach number 1. That is factorial. So मैं यहाँ पे 7 into 6 into 5 को इस format में लिख सकती हूँ, 7 factorial by 4 factorial by, yeah, so 7 factorial by 4 factorial. When I write it, I can write it as 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 factorial divided by 4 factorial. This will get cancelled out. So essentially 7 into 6 into 5 could be written as 7 factorial by 4 factorial. जिसको further मैं लिख सकती हूँ that permutation where permutation of 3 comma 7, 3 represents the size of the subgroup and 7 represents the size of the larger group, is equal to 7 factorial by 4 factorial, where 7 factorial could be written as generalized form में मैं इसको लिख सकती हूँ n factorial because 7 is nothing but equal to n here and 4 is nothing but n minus k. 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. तो denominator में I have n minus k factorial. तो permutation के n का एक जो जनरल फॉर्मूला आप समझ सकते हो वो है n factorial divided by n minus k factorial. Or in other words, pkn is nothing but the product of n into n minus 1 till n minus k minus 1. So the permutation is nothing but the general product. The situation in hand is that you have an exam. इस एग्जाम में 4 क्वेश्चंस हैं और इन 4 क्वेश्चंस को चेक करने के लिए, इवैल्यूएट करने के लिए आपके पास 10 टीचिंग असिस्टेंट्स अवेलेबल हैं. आपको सिलेक्ट करने हैं इन 10 टीचिंग असिस्टेंट्स में से आपको 4 टीचिंग असिस्टेंट सिलेक्ट करने हैं जो इन 4 क्वेश्चंस को इवैल्यूएट करेंगे. सो क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 विल बी सिलेक्टेड बाय 1 TA, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 विल बी checked by another TA, 3 would be checked by another TA and 4 would be checked by another TA. So you have to select a subgroup of 4 from a group of 10. Now you could either do permutation or you could do combination. I said that permutation is an ordered pair. Ordered pair का मतलब है कि अगर suppose आपके पास 10 TAs available हैं, 10 teaching assistants available हैं. Question number A, let's say, is checked by TA number A. Question number 2 is checked by B. Question number 3 is checked by C. Question number 4 is checked by D. ठीक है? So ये 4 TAs हैं जो question number 1, 2, 3, 4 को check कर रहे हैं. दूसरा possible combination हो सकता है कि question number 1 check करे B, question number 2 A and 3 D or 4 C. In this particular situation, would this outcome be considered different from this outcome? इन दोनों आउटकम्स में जो 4 लोग हैं वो सेम है. बोथ दीज आउटकम्स हैव A, B, C, D, बट ऑर्डर इज डिफरेंट. Whenever you are in a situation जहां पे आपको ये समझना है कि परम्यूटेशन लगाना है या कॉम्बिनेशन लगाना है, हमेशा ये सोचो कि क्या इस सिचुएशन में ऑर्डर इंपॉर्टेंट है या नहीं है. अगर आप 4 TAs लेते हो A, B, C, D और आप रैंडमली उनको कोई भी क्वेश्चन चेक करने को बोलते हो, then that is not what you want. Because it is possible कि क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 जब TA A सॉल्व करेगा तो वो अलग तरीके से सॉल्व करेगा और क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 जब TA B सॉल्व करेगा तो वो अलग तरीके से सॉल्व करेगा. So in this particular situation the order is important and hence you will be using permutation and not combination. So the key point to be kept in mind is that whenever you are selecting an ordered outcome then you use permutation. And when you are selecting an unordered, जहाँ पे order matter नहीं करता है, then you will use combination. But both permutation and combinations are used when you are selecting a smaller group from a larger group. जब भी एक बड़े ग्रुप से छोटा ग्रुप निकालना है तब हम permutation combination use करते हैं. Ordered group निकालना है तो permutation, unordered group निकालना है तो combination. So suppose you have these 7 individuals A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you want to select 3 individuals out of them. Suppose you want to select a group of 3 people who you want to send to some competition. तो आपको basically इन 7 individuals में से 3 ऐसे students या individuals pick करने हैं जिनको आप further एक competition में भेजोगे, where it doesn't matter whether you are selecting individual A first or B first. So basically any combination of 3 individuals will be treated as same. So you can have A, B, C, BAC or CAB or CBA, etc. You can have many courses where you are selecting the same people. Ultimately, in all of these combinations, you will notice कि ultimately individuals A, B और C ही हैं, लेकिन order of selection different है, which doesn't matter in this specific case because in this specific case we are selecting a team जहाँ पे doesn't matter कि हम कौन सा individual कौन से order में choose कर रहे हैं. तो इस केस को हम कॉम्बिनेशन बोलते हैं. Now how are permutation and combination related to each other? And with that relation we will try to derive the formula for combinations. Suppose you want to make different possible ways in which you can select A, B, C individuals. So one could be A, C, B, You could have A, B, C, C, A, B, C, B, A, BAC and BCA. These are the 6 possible ways in which you can select these 3 individuals in different order. तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ order different है, but ultimately in all of these 6 combinations you will notice that kind of people are same. In case of permutation, these will be counted as 6 different cases, but in case of combination, all of these 6 will be counted as one combination because ultimately we have the same set of. So we can say that अगर हमें 7 लोगों में से 3 लोग की टीम बनानी है, so if there are 7 individuals, out of which we have to select 3 individuals, then we can form it in these many ways where the bracket refers to combination. So basically we are saying that we can form 7C3 combination. Further you can say that जो 3 individual के combinations आप बना रहे हो, इन कॉम्बिनेशंस को आप फर्दर ऑर्डर कर सकते हो इस तरीके से, ठीक है। ब्रॉडली आप देखो इन 6 सेट्स में सब में तीनों सेम इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, बट इनके ऑर्डर अलग हैं। इस 3 इंडिविजुअल की टीम को आप 3 फैक्टोरियल वेज से फर्दर डिफरेंट ऑर्डर बना सकते हो, डिफरेंट ऑर्डर के सेट्स बना सकते हो। क्यों? क्योंकि 3 फैक्टोरियल क्यों? क्योंकि अगर सपोज 3 पोजीशन है आपके पास, तो पहली पोजीशन में आप 3 इंडिविजुअल्स को रख सकते हो, दूसरी पोजीशन में बिकॉज पहली पोजीशन में एक इंडिविजुअल ऑलरेडी चूज हो जाएगा, तो दूसरी पोजीशन में 2 को रख सकते हो और तीसरी पोजीशन में 1 को रख सकते हो। सो आप अपना ऑर्डर्ड प्रोडक्ट रूल लगा के यहाँ पे बोल सकते हो कि जितने भी कॉम्बिनेशंस पॉसिबल हैं विच इज 7C3, उनको फर्दर जब आप 3 फैक्टोरियल से मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो आपको परम्यूटेशन मिल जाएंगे। आउट ऑफ दीज 7 इंडिविजुअल्स यू कैन फॉर्म combinations of 3 individuals in these many number of ways, that is 7C3 or bracket 7-3. These team of 3 individuals could further be arranged in 6 ways, which is 3 factorial ways. और जब आप इन number of combinations को 3 factorial से multiply करोगे, then you will get nothing but 7P3. So combination and permutation are related in this manner. In other words, we can say that the number of permutations will always exceed the number of combinations. जितने तरीके से आप ordered pair बना सकते हो, that will always exceed the number of combinations for a given situation, which is very obvious क्योंकि आप जब permutation की बात कर रहे हो तो आप इन 6 cases को 6 अलग अलग cases की तरह count कर रहे हो और combination में आप 6 के 6 cases को एक count कर रहे हो, तो obviously number of combinations will be lesser than number of permutations. और ये किस multiple से ज्यादा होंगे, that will be given by this factorial number here. So 7C3 multiplied by 3 factorial is equal to 7P3. Number of permutations will exceed the number of combinations by 3 factorial ways. And from this itself, we can derive the formula for combination. So we can say that 7C3 is nothing but 7P3 divided by 3 factorial. और इसको हम जनरल फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं where we are treating 7 as n and 3 as k, where n refers to the number of total individuals in the group, e will be replaced by k, where k refers to the number of people you want to take in the subgroup. So you can say that nck is nothing but npk divided by k factorial, और हमें पता है कि npk क्या है, it is nothing but n factorial by divided by n minus k factorial. ये हम already establish कर चुके हैं, and in the denominator we now have an extra element which is k factorial. So we can say that combination nk is equal to n factorial by n minus k factorial into k factorial. So this is how you can compute the number of combinations that you want to form in a given situation. Note that when you take a combination n, that will be equal to 1, because इसका क्या मतलब है कि out of group of n individuals you want to make a subgroup of n individuals, which is only possible in one way if the order doesn't matter, right? अगर आप a b c d e f g में से you want to make a group of 7 individuals, then if the order doesn't matter, then that can be selected in only one single way. Hence n combination n will always be equal to 1. And n combination 0 will also be equal to 1. because this means that out of the total number of individuals, you want to select none of them, and that's also possible in only one way. Okay, let's look at question 30. We are looking at this question number 30. A friend of mine is giving a dinner party. His current wine supply includes 8 bottles of whatever, 10 bottles of, and 12 bottles of. So there are 3 different drinks that a friend is serving at his dinner party. So you have 8, 10, and 12 bottles each of these 3 categories. The first part of the question asks, if he wants to serve 3 bottles of category Z and serving order is important, how many ways are there to do this? You have 3 categories Z, M and C, 10 of M and 12 of C. You want to select, the first question is asking you that if he wants to serve 3 bottles of Z and serving order is important, and how many ways can he do this? Quite straightforward, since the question clearly tells you that the order is important. It will be 8P3. The total number of Z bottles are 8 and you want to select 3 out of them. So 8P3. Second part, if 6 bottles of wine are to be randomly selected from the 30, so out of the total set of 30 bottles, if 6 are to be selected, how many ways are there to do this? Since the question is saying that you are randomly selecting 6 bottles, so it doesn't matter which one are you selecting first. So you will be using combination and the answer would be 30C6. Part C, if 6 bottles are randomly selected, how many ways are there to obtain 2 bottles of each variety? Now there's a twist in this question. Read the question again. If 6 bottles are randomly selected, how many ways? You're still selecting the bottles randomly, but now you want to make sure that out of these 6 bottles, 2 of each category is there. So 2 of Z, 2 of M and 2 of C. You want 2 bottles of each category. It will be 8C2. So you are selecting 2 from the first category, then again 2 from the second category, and then again 2 from the third category. Remember that we use plus for union and use the product for intersection. So which means that whenever some events are occurring with and, product is also used with and this is used with or. तो अगर यहाँ पे ऐसा होता कि 2 from one category or 2 from other category or 2 from the third category, then you would have added. यहाँ पे फिर इन combinations के बीच में plus का sign होता, but because we are saying that we want 2 from the first category and 2 from the second category and 2 from the third category, we'll be using product. So 8C2 into 10C2 into 12C. Part D, if 6 bottles are randomly selected, what is the probability that this results in 2 bottles of each variety being chosen? In this question, you are being asked to calculate the probability. पिछले वाले questions में आपसे number of ways पूछा था कि कितने तरीकों से आप ऐसे select कर सकते हो, but now you are being asked probability. You will take the number of favorable outcomes, which will be the part we just calculated, and you will divide it by the total number of ways, what we did in part. तो यहाँ पे हमने सिर्फ probability का formula apply करा है. Part E, if 6 bottles randomly selected, what is the probability that all of them are the same variety? कि यहाँ पे हमसे क्या बोल रहा है that all of the same category. So we want all the 6 to be of the same category, either Z or M or C. Now notice that we are using or here because we don't want कि 6 bottles हमें Z की चाहिए and 6 bottles M की चाहिए and 6 C की चाहिए. We are saying that either we have 6 of the first category or 6 of the second category or 6 of the third category. So that's why we'll be using plus here divided by total number of ways in which we can select 6 from 30, which is 36. So this will be your answer.